talk with her about it, and I feel like, hello YouTube. So me trying to shoot proper horizontal video instead of vertical video has resulted in me bumping a button with my knuckle, because it's very difficult to carry a phone and shoot proper video. For whatever reason, they're not designed for that. They're designed to, if you're walking, to shoot vertical video, which is why so much video on the internet is awful and you can't see what's going on the sides. Anyway, I somehow just restarted this. I'm not sure exactly where I restarted it or if I lost the stuff I shot prior to here, but anyway, this is obviously going to be another segment in another video. So it's 4 something in the morning, Thursday morning, I think it's August 19th. Damn, I had a really good train of thought going on, and then I noticed that the red that's on when I'm recording was black, and then it was red again, and it was restarting, and I realized my knuckle had bumped a button. That's annoying. Anyway, so I'm coming down the bike route along the canal. I hit the button to change the light, not that I needed to, because as you can see, there's so much traffic here. But I'm crossing Osborne. And just to give you some perspective from where I am versus where I was earlier, there's that, oh, come on, focus. Please focus. There's that weird giant pottery sculpture with the urban artwork in the center. Yeah, iPhone ain't gonna focus on it really. But that I showed up close, where you could see where the little paintings in the center of it are coming apart from age. So I'm on the other side of the freeway. Crossing Osborne. This is neat. I noticed this, and I've rode this so many times. I've never really walked this as much as I've rode it on my scooter. And I noticed this walking earlier. There's like an etching in the cement. It says, oh God, I'm looking around. It's hard to see what it says. Something. Grand Canalscape. Oh yeah, because this is the Grand Canal. I always forget the name of this canal, Grand Canal. So apparently with this whole, redo of the City of Phoenix recently redid the landscaping along it and completely redid the bike path, which is why it's so new and fresh. And so I guess that project was called the Grand Canalscape. Pretty neat. And there's some new artwork that's been added to it. All right, always nice to see some local work by some local artists. Today's benches here, don't know really what they accomplished, but City of Phoenix definitely made a point to have a little bench there for your butt, a little bench there for somebody else's butt, and make sure that it's not possible for anybody to sleep across on it. There was a gap there. City of Phoenix likes to keep their homeless hidden, and this bench is not exactly hidden. So anyway, on we go down the canal. I do appreciate the fact there's a trash can there, and unlike trash cans in videos I see around LA, it is not overflowing. It does appear to be maintained by somebody, most likely the City of Phoenix Parks Department. And there's even a little dispenser right there. Well, it doesn't look like it has anything in it, but a little dispenser there for poop scoop bags, in case you're walking your dog on this path. So, gosh, trying to remember what I was talking about. I was in a really serious subject before I realized my knuckle had screwed up my recording by touching buttons on the side of my phone. Maybe I should get a GoPro. Yeah, I'm vlogging. It's time that I GoPro. I was talking about. I was struggling to remember the word hetero. What is it? Now I can't remember the word again. Oh, fuck me. Oh man, I hate it when I'm trying to remember a word and I absolutely cannot remember the word. Like I've got a strong vocabulary if I can just remember all of it, right? Neurotypical. That's the word of the day. The word of the day is neurotypical. When I say the word later in the show, when I say the word neurotypical, everybody scream, okay? Neurotypical. Yeah, if you're neurotypical, scream. Oh, this is neat. Here's another one of those pottery. Oh, and it's too dark to really see it. Those pottery, public art pottery things. It's kind of odd looking. Oh, that's what I was talking about when I was going up 18th Street on the other side of the freeway. I kept getting sidetracked, but I kept talking about how there was a big, how that pottery came about in the early 90s, as far as I can remember, like late 92, early 93. After I was a cab driver, before the love of my life, Tracy, moved in with me. So it got publicly reported on, TV and news, newspapers and whatnot, that that pottery, which I've shown some examples of on the last 2-3 videos, however many it got broken into because I was bumping my buttons, that this pottery, which decorates the it was along the 51 and also in the landscaped areas. I'm surprised, now that I'm walking, I'm seeing way more of it than I realized existed. I didn't think there was nearly this much of it left over, but here's another example right here, which you can't really see, but it looks really cool in the daytime. And I've seen some of it actually embedded in the sound wall that flanks the 51. When the 51 was built, it didn't have a lot of sound wall. You could drive along it and you could see the housing to the side, which of course, I'm sure made things louder for the people that wouldn't hear it, but it sure made for a more scenic freeway. Yeah, I'm not a fan of driving down freeways where all you just see is walls on each side. Although having less to look at, I guess, kind of gets people to keep their eyes on the road. All right, that looks questionable. So, going underneath the 51 freeway now. Anyway, so what that was about, it got reported that just a really obscene amount of money was spent on that public artwork. And, tax dollars, Arizona tax dollars that were supposed to be spent on freeways and expanding the freeway system. And people were pretty pissed about it. And what ended up happening as a result was there was kind of a public protest of the likes of which I've never seen before or since. But what people started doing to protest the ridiculous amount of tax dollars that was supposed to go towards additional freeways, which Phoenix desperately needed, it was instead being diverted on this public art of goofy looking pottery along the edges of the freeway. What people started doing is lining the freeway, particularly along the retaining walls along the edge of the freeway. They started lining them with toilets. People started hoisting old toilets along the tops of the sound walls and retaining walls, the full length of the 51, which at that point in time it only went up to about, it just went just a little bit north of Northern. No, it didn't even go to Northern, my bad. It went a little bit north of Glendale. Yeah, that's all the further north that freeway went then. Anyway, I remember, I've got really strong memories, and I've looked all over Google Images many, many times, and I've never found anybody I haven't found any internet pictures. This is 93, so kind of before the internet was a mainstream thing. But yeah, I've never been able to find any images on the internet of the 51 lined with toilets. But, little rapids there in the canal, that's neat. But yeah, I distinctly remember many, many times driving up and down the 51 freeway and just seeing it lined with toilets. Needless to say, the stuff that had already been built, and I'm surprised there's so much of it, but I understand, now that I've seen it, like, it's so not where a normal person would see it that people probably didn't even realize it was being made. But that program came to a screeching halt. All that money got put back into the highway fund to go to actually, because it was highway fund road. It was money that Arizona taxpayers had voted to be spent specifically on new freeways and freeway improvement, and to see it being spent on what most people just considered absolutely stupid and ugly artwork, it outraged people in Phoenix. who are, you know, especially at that time, were largely, you know, conservative, fiscally conservative, don't want to see, you know, don't want to see their money spent on that crap. Anyway, it's by the way, I'm walking south on 20th Street now, almost back to the park where my car is. My car looks to be fine. I think I see it. I think that's it over there. Yeah, they that was a big news item, late '92, early '93, and that money got put back in the highway fund, and the pottery along the freeway came to they stopped adding it. But it's kind of interesting that there's still quite a bit that's still here. You know, I'm glad they didn't waste money taking the stuff that they did already make and getting rid of it. And it's kind of neat. I think I'll come back and make another video in the daytime, so y'all can see it. And yeah, there's my car. Yeah, so that y'all can see it, and maybe at some point in the future when I figure out how to actually do some proper video editing, I can make a nice video showcasing all of it someday. Not right now. So this is where there should be some kind of a sign, you know, saying what the park's hours and rules are. And if there was a sign here, it would say Urbandale Park, at least based upon what Google Images says, or no, sorry, Google Maps. It's Google Maps that told me this is called Urbandale Park. So as you see, there's no homeless people here in the park. No homeless people camping in the park. The park is pretty clear, pretty well lit, and pretty clean. The trash cans are a little full, but they're obviously getting, you know, maintained on a regular basis. And I've shot several vlogs at this park, and I've hung out at this park before and seen the Parks Department here, you know, emptying the trash and cleaning it and maintaining the grounds, and that's a good thing. But I didn't call attention to it as I was walking by shooting video and talking about the pottery, public art stuff, but I'm sure you noticed that there were homeless people camping underneath the freeway on that bike route. And, you know, I didn't say anything to them. I just kept walking through and minding my own business. But they're there. They're there. It's a population that needs some help. Not that I'm really doing anything to help them. I'm struggling enough to help myself. But yeah, it's the first time I'm kind of eagerly looking forward to watching this video later and seeing how many people I walked. I was trying to just kind of not look at it as I walked through, but yeah, there was definitely a little mini encampment there and some mattresses. Who knows how long they've been there? That's quite a bit of stuff they had there, so I bet they've been there for a while. And that's what you know, as I said before, like homeless encampments in Phoenix, they're not on public display like they are in LA, you know, and like they are in Skid Row and in other places in LA. Like in my video where I was driving near Gold's Gym near Venice Beach, you know, there's very few places where the homeless is that on display here in Phoenix, which gives the appearance that Phoenix isn't struggling with homelessness, but it is, just like every other American city. Just the authorities make it so difficult for the people that are homeless that they have to hide in spots like where I just walked through. So, not like I'm drawing any conclusions, I'm just showing it. It is what it is. Hopefully this new gig that I just got with the Union Jack turns my life around, that I don't become one of them. But I did, when I got home from the bar, I did really have quite the shouting match with Priscilla. I was really optimistic on coming home to find her, you know, getting some rest prior to her surgery that she's going into tomorrow. I was hoping I'd find her in my bed in the dark, find my apartment nice and quiet and dark, and find her waiting for me, but instead she had every light in the goddamn apartment on. She was playing some kind of loud, annoying video game on her laptop and somehow taking up my entire couch. And I had asked her to move something to near my scooter in the kitchen so I could move it into the trunk of my car, so I could give it to a friend of mine. And, you know, I texted her while I was out and asked her to do that. And she's like, oh, no problem, I'll get it done. And I I kind of meant do that now, you know, but it hadn't been done. And then it was in the living room with a bunch of stuff piled on it, a pile of stuff that I told her that I really didn't like being there because it made it impossible. It made it very difficult to walk to the front door. I mean, walking around my own hoarding is difficult enough. You know, get your shit out of here. I really don't want you living here. But there it was, and it was on top. I'm like, why is stuff piled on top of that? That's something that's supposed to go to my friend. It's not supposed to, it's not a table. Anyway, I lashed out probably harder than I should have. But the bottom line is that I never asked her to move in with me. I've made it very clear since the day she moved in with me that I didn't want her moving in with me. And what was supposed to be 2 weeks, it was supposed to be 2 weeks to flatten the curve, has gone on for years. Oh wait, sorry, that's another subject entirely. It was supposed to be just a couple of weeks until she gets another apartment. Has turned into several years. And I can't pretend that I'm not angry about it. I can't pretend I'm okay with it. I can't. I'm not happy with it. I was never happy with it. And, you know, I mean, she gets frustrated because she knows I sleep around. And honestly, if she was banging other dudes, that wouldn't bother me nearly as much as the fact that she's moved into my apartment and just squatted there and taken over my apartment when I never, ever, ever consented to that. She never asked if she could do it, and I never said yes. So she's raping my apartment. I never gave consent to it. She's raping it. She's raping me, raping my apartment, raping my hospitality. And yeah, not so cool with being a victim of this rape. And of course now she is helping with rent. Credit where it's due, but it doesn't. It's and I probably would have already been homeless if it wasn't for the help. But at this point, I feel like I'm homeless because I'm hanging out in places where homeless people hang out because my apartment has somebody in it that is taking up my space. Should by my space, I don't feel comfortable in my space, so I'm here in Auburn Hill Park. That's what's up. Not happy with it. Anyway, I'm talking in circles. It happens. I had to let that out. I'm gonna get in my car, go home. I don't know when I'm facing. I told her I would take her to the doctor's office. She said it was 6 a.m.-ish, so I did tell her I would do that for her, and I mean to do that for her. But my God, I gotta get enough money where I can support myself, and I gotta get her the hell out of my apartment. Got to. And I'm not even sure how to do it at this point. But there's enough squatters' rights, and I've let her live there long enough. If she doesn't willingly move out, I'll probably end up having to do some kind of a court thing. And there's no way if I take her to, and actually file a proper eviction on her. There's just absolutely no way we're going to remain friends after that. And that's sad because she's the best friend I've had in a long time. But it wouldn't be the first friendship that was ruined by somebody moving in and taking advantage of their friend for a place to stay and then not moving out. And that's why a lot of people, when they're facing homelessness, find that they don't really have any friends because their friends don't want that to happen to them. They don't want their homeless friend suddenly becoming the guy on the couch that never moves out, or the guy that took up the guest bedroom and suddenly acts like it's their home. But that's the situation I found myself in. And, it's like, well, I can't say I don't love her. I love her. Up until recently, sex was pretty awesome. But now it's extremely infrequent. And, I'm really unhappy with the whole scenario. Anyway, I'm getting entirely too personal here. It's time to just wrap this up. And thanks for bearing with me. There will be more video soon. Hey, check it out. So I just got a call on the phone yesterday telling me that this car's car warranty may be expiring. Imagine that. A car company with that logo not honoring their car warranty. Who would have thought?